So today we're diving into one of the most ambitious environmental projects happening anywhere on the planet. We're talking about Ethiopia's massive effort to fight a critical crisis by planting billions of trees. It's a really powerful story about a country with this incredible natural wealth, but it's facing a huge, huge threat. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. I mean, can something as simple as planting a tree, okay, billions of trees, really save a whole nation from, the brink of environmental collapse? It's a huge question. Let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into the crisis, you've got to understand what's actually at stake here. We need to talk about what Ethiopia has. And believe me, it's a land of just surprising, incredible natural bounty. Right, so when we throw around a term like natural resources, what do we actually mean? It's pretty simple, really. We're talking about the assets you find in nature, from stuff that grows back, like water and forests, to things that don't, like minerals. And here's the thing, Ethiopia is just swimming in both. Let's start with water, because it's absolutely central to, well, everything in Ethiopia. It's not just what you drink, right? It literally powers the country through hydropower. It grows their food through irrigation. It's the backbone of entire ecosystems. You've got rivers like the Awash, which are basically agricultural lifelines, and these enormous lakes like Tana. I mean, these are just massive economic and natural treasures. And it's not just about the water either. The biodiversity in Ethiopia is, wow, it's stunning. You've got everything from these high-altitude alpine zones all the way down to sprawling savannas. But the really crucial part, the endemic wildlife. We're talking about animals you cannot find anywhere else on planet Earth, like the majestic Walia ibex, the mountain yala, or the super unique gelada baboon. These are literally irreplaceable global treasures, and Ethiopia is their only home. But, and this is a big but, that beautiful picture of natural wealth, it's now a land under just immense, immense pressure. And this is where the story really takes a turn. So you gotta ask, what's behind this crisis? What's driving it? And at its core, it's a story you see playing out all over the world, really. You have rapid population growth, which creates this ever-increasing demand for resources, and that puts an unbelievable strain on the environment. And you can see that strain in a few key ways. First, deforestation. Forests are being cleared for fuel for farmland. Then you've got overgrazing, because livestock numbers are going up. And then there are farming practices that, look, they're necessary to feed people, but over time, they're just stripping the soil of its nutrients. You put all that together, and you get widespread land degradation. And when I say widespread, the scale of this crisis is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. Get this, 85%. 85% of the country's land is already considered moderately to severely degraded. That is almost the entire country. And that degradation leads to something even more devastating. A whopping 75% of that land is now affected by desertification. That means fertile ground is literally turning into desert right before their eyes, and that threatens the entire national ecosystem. But here's the hopeful turn. Faced with this enormous crisis, Ethiopia didn't just stand by. No way. They launched a national response that is just incredibly ambitious, and it's called the Green Legacy Initiative. So what is it? Well, the initiative's mission, which was launched by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, is super direct, super clear. It's a massive, and I mean massive, tree planting campaign. And it's designed to fight back against the exact things we've been talking about, climate change and deforestation. Okay, so I keep saying massive. Just how massive are we talking? Well, the numbers here are, honestly, they're kind of hard to comprehend, but you have to hear them to really understand the sheer scale of this vision. 20 billion with a B. That was the goal. Not a million, not even a billion. 20 billion seedlings. A number like that represents a complete and total national mobilization. And this wasn't some vague, someday kind of promise. No, the goal was attached to a really tight deadline. Plant those 20 billion seedlings in just 4 years, from 2020 to 2023. You do the math. That's an average of 5 billion seedlings every single year. It's just wild. And this really shows you the strategy perfectly. See, the Green Legacy Initiative isn't just about planting trees for the sake of it. It's a direct, targeted response to each specific crisis. For every challenge, there's a goal. You've got deforestation, the goal is reforestation. Soil erosion, the goal is to stop desertification.
Food insecurity and climate change? The mission is to build security and resilience. It's a one-to-one attack on the problems.
So you can break it down into this really clear 4-step plan. Step 1, curb the effects of climate change. Step 2, start to heal the land itself by fighting desertification and that terrible soil erosion. And then, and this is so important, step 3 and 4 connect all that environmental work directly to people's daily lives by promoting climate-smart agriculture and making sure the nation has food security.
So all of this brings us to the big question, right? The final and maybe the most important part of this story. What does this all mean for the future? Because this is about so much more than just trees. It's really about seeding hope for tomorrow.
And that brings us full circle, back to a big question. Ethiopia has laid out this incredibly ambitious, audacious green print for its own recovery. So is this the future? Is this level of ambition, this kind of national mobilization, this sheer scale, is this the model for how other countries can fight back against environmental disaster? It's a really powerful thought to end on.